Mark David Chapman, the assassin of John Lennon. Chapman was born in Fort Worth, Texas. He was born May 10, 1955. His father is David Curtis Chapman, a staff sergeant in the U.S. Air Force. His mother is Diane Elizabeth, a nurse. Chapman lived in constant fear of his father as a child. Mark often claimed that he physically abused his mother and did not love her. Chapman attended Columbia High School in Decatur, Georgia. By the time he was 14, he was using drugs, skipping class, and once lived on the streets for 2 weeks after running away. Chapman became a born-again Christian in 1971. He began work as a YMCA summer camp counselor, and he was very popular with the children, who often nicknamed him Nemo. A friend recommended The Catcher in the Rye to him, and the book became so important to him that he had even reportedly wished to model his life after its protagonist, Holden Caulfield. Chapman developed a series of obsessions, including artwork, The Catcher in the Rye, music, and John Lennon. The Beatles are more popular than Jesus. Planning the assassination. Chapman allegedly started planning the murder of John Lennon 3 months prior. Mark idolized the Beatles, mostly John Lennon, and he even played the guitar as well. Chapman was angered at Lennon's comment that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus. The South was also angered, responding with album burnings and boycotts. One of Chapman's best friends, Jan Reeves, admits that he kept saying he couldn't understand why Lennon said that. According to Mark, it was blasphemy. He chose Lennon after seeing him on the cover of the Beatles album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I would listen to this music and I would get angry at him for saying that he didn't believe in God. I just wanted to scream out loud. Who does he think he is, saying these things about God and heaven and the Beatles? Saying that he doesn't believe in Jesus and things like that. At that point, my mind was going through a total blackness of anger and rage. So I brought the Lennon book home into this Catcher in the Rye milieu where my mindset is Holden Caulfield and anti-phoniness. The murder of John Lennon. It is December 8, 1980. Chapman left his room at the Sheraton Hotel. He bought a copy of The Catcher in the Rye in which he wrote, "This is my statement," signed Holden Caulfield. He spent most of the day outside Lennon's and Ono's apartment building, the Daytona. Lennon and Ono left their apartments for a recording session at Record Plant Studios around 5 p.m. Chapman shook hands with Lennon on his way out and asked him to sign a copy of Double Fantasy, one of Lennon's albums. Around 10:49 p.m., Lennon exited his limousine to go to his apartment. He and Ono passed Chapman, who then proceeded to fire 5 shots from a .38 special revolver, 4 of which hit his back and left shoulder. This is a .38 special revolver, an example of the gun that was used to kill John Lennon. Chapman remained at the scene reading The Catcher in the Rye until police arrived. In his statement to the police 3 hours later, Chapman said, "I'm sure the big part of me is Holden Caulfield, who is the main person in the book. The small part of me must be the devil." John Lennon was pronounced dead by Dr. Stephen Lynn at 11:07 p.m. at St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital Center. During Chapman's trial, much attention was paid to his psychiatric state. His lawyer initially entered a plea of insanity, which Chapman later overturned with a guilty plea. Mark David Chapman was charged with second-degree murder. The judge sentenced Chapman to 20 years to life, 5 years less than the maximum sentence of 25 years to life. Chapman was given 5 years less than the maximum because he pled guilty to second-degree murder, thereby avoiding the time and expense of a trial.